With Deebo Samuel firmly in the trade crosshairs since the 49ers picked Ricky Parcell last night out of Florida, it appears there have been some developments as we head into round two tonight. Now, obviously, one of the things that we are going to be looking for is if a team feels comfortable going and trading one of their second, maybe third round picks for Deebo Samuel. But two teams that should be considered interested in a wide receiver appear to be out on Deebo Samuel, at least according to Jordan Schultz. Jordan Schultz says, while the 49ers have listened to calls on all-pro wide receiver Deebo Samuel, sources say the Patriots and the Bills are considered highly unlikely to trade for him. So the Patriots and Bills were the teams that have been linked to Deebo Samuel so far, but it does appear that is drying up. So we could see a similar situation to kind of what we saw with Brandon Ayuk in the first round. Obviously, if there are no teams that are willing to trade for a player, then a trade is not going to happen. It takes two to tango. You can't just will a trade to occur. So with all that being said, this stuff could just be a bunch of smoke. So there is a potential that Deebo Samuel might not be going anywhere. So again, quite the interesting scenario. So many people are talking about this. Ian Rappaport talked about it earlier today on the Rich Eisen show. This is what he had to say.
Ian Rappaport here on the Rich Eisen show. The 49ers wide receiver situation. Yes. What can you tell me about what almost happened last night and what still is in play going into tonight?
Yeah, that was a fun one last night. That was another one where, like, you know, I'm pitching my topics on air, and I'm kind of like, all right, this can be interesting if the 49ers take a receiver. And, like, I kind of thought they were going to take a tackle. And then I'm like, I guess there's a chance they take one. And I was surprised that it was Pierce. So I think a lot of people had him in the second round. Kyle's a very good scout. I think he knows offensive skill players, so I will trust him. But I was a little surprised he went that early.
Well, he said Ayuk even texted him to say that was a fire pick. So
they were teammates, weren't they?
Yeah, Arizona State. Because he transferred to Florida from Arizona State, and into the SEC from Arizona State, just like Jaden Daniels. But so were they close to trading Ayuk last night, or Deebo? Is Deebo in play at all?
So I don't get the sense that they were close to trading Ayuk last night. I think they would have done it maybe for a one, but it kind of feels like this is not, I wouldn't say this is like reporting. This is more just my general feel of the situation.
Sure.
It feels more like there's a little bit of a push to keep Ayuk now. And could Deebo be had? Like, maybe, I think if you're, Brandon Ayuk is a very good player. I think they have made offers out to him to pay him like a very well compensated receiver. It's not there yet, and the market has gone up, as we learned last night right before the draft and several other times this week.
With A.J. Brown.
Yeah, and then the Amon-Ra deal, I think, helped Ayuk's market. Mm-hmm. But keep your young, good players, and if Deebo's got 2 years left, he's already been paid once. Teams might be interested. like, I could see it.
That Deebo could be the one traded tonight.
Maybe, yeah. I know it's hard to do because you want to get a guy physical. And so, worst case scenario is, let's say the 49ers trade him, tonight on the clock for a third rounder or something, and then God forbid he fails a physical, and then you're like, they already used the pick. So it's hard to do. Could you agree on it? It's a challenge. Like, there was you remember when Hollywood Brown got traded to the Cardinals and it was broken on the clock? Mm-hmm. He was already in Arizona having taken a physical, and he literally showed up at their draft party being like, I'm here, but the deal was done because his physical was done. So it's a challenge. It really
so we
is.
Need to look at doctors in certain towns that are looking at a D, Samuel.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say D, Bo.
No. That would be wild if something like that happens tonight.
So, I don't really know. I don't know if anything's going to happen. And I think the same thing continues to apply with all these situations, is that the conversations are happening, but again, just because conversations are happening doesn't mean it's a foregone conclusion. I think part of the battle of like these conversations is people have just right off the bat disregarded them as this isn't a possibility. So anytime you talk about it, they don't have an open mind to be able to have a conversation about it. So that anything that we've discussed about these potential trades, never once have we said either one of these guys are going to get traded. We had just said this is what we're hearing. This is what's out there. This is what this insider's saying. This is what that's insider saying. We'll see what happens. That's pretty much the outcome of every single video that I've done about a potential trade. So the same thing applies. Nothing changes. It's the same situation. I'm presenting you with information. You can either choose to accept it, you can push it back, you can make your own opinions based off what you've heard, and you're an adult. You can make your own decisions on how you want to interpret this information. I'm simply just here to present it to you. Now we'll see what ultimately happens. It's sounding like Deebo's not going anywhere, so I would say that's the most likely outcome yet again in regards to all this trade conversation. But you guys let me know what you think the most likely outcome is. Does Deebo get moved on day 2 of the draft, or is he going to stay put? Most likely, just like Brandon Ayuk. You guys let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.